This week on the Two Limes and a Lemon podcast, we move away from the dark world of dystopian films and start our next series looking at found footage films. We start off with a film that, in my memory, had a lot more found footage elements, but we'll get to that. So join us as we talk about faux documentaries, hauntings and psychics, and how far cell phone video technology has advanced with this week's film, Lake Mungo.
Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some like a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
Two Limes
and a Lemon.
Hi, and welcome back to this week's Two Limes and a Lemon podcast. My name's Danielle. I'm hosting this week, and joined with me, as always, are my two friends, Nat and Dave. Want to say hi, guys?
Day, mate.
Hello. I was wondering if you were going to do the exit, Natalie. Oh, you've bloody done it really great out there. Can you do an Australian accent, Danielle?
I can't.
Say, crikey, like Steve Irwin.
No, we're not going to do this whole podcast with me. Australian accents are notoriously hard because I know I'm bad. Like,
well, ours wasn't fantastic. We're not winning any Oscars for it.
You guys are halfway there. You like the British accent is like a hop, skip, and a jump away from the Australian accent, whereas the American accent is like a world away.
Apparently, people with American accents, I've heard like British actors say they don't have to use their like mouth and tongue as much because it's more relaxed. So it's more like, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's an insult or...
they're not enunciating.
Good afternoon, Mr. Man.
I think I speak very clearly.
You do.
You do. You're very clear.
You would speak even clearer if you did an Australian accent.
As we always do, we're going to start out with what we've been up to this week with our consuming segment. This could be movies, books, food, what have you. So let's start off with Dave this week. Dave, what have you been consuming?
I saw a play. I saw my nieces play. They were doing their last year 6 play, and it's like year 6, so they're just about to go to secondary school. And it was really good. Like the music, there's like so many puns in this musical. It's about it's called Grossbusters, and it's about I know, right? I love it already. And it's about these people called the Normies, and they're fed up of all these monsters coming into their city. They just want everything normalized and everything like that. And their mayor's not doing a good enough job. So this new lady comes in who's like, I can sort this out for you. And she's like the bad guy. And it follows the story of this guy called Norman Normanson. And he's secretly a monster. And he gets taken out and thrown into the other side where all the other monsters live. And then I introduce my niece. And she plays like an Elton John character. Where she has to do loads of like lip syncing for his songs for different jokes. And she did really good, bless her. She was great. So all of them did, like, it was funny because it's like there's bits where they forget their lines and it all goes quiet and they look at people like, oh, what do I say? But for me, I've never been on I'd never done a production or anything at school, so I feel like I missed out. So I don't remember doing anything.
You just avoided doing it, or your school didn't do it?
I just don't think I knew it was around.
They did do it because I was at his school and I didn't.
Oh.
Well, I weren't aware of it. I didn't have to get involved, probably. No.
When I was in 3rd grade, I was in our school's Annie play. I played Molly, and I started off by crying because I wet the bed or something, and it was fun.
Nice.
You had to cry.
What was your role, Nat?
Oh, we did a play called Dazzle, and it was like a Star Trek spoof. I played like a princess who was meant to be really posh, but then she talked really like common, basically.
It's common as muck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no idea about plays. I remember doing them in year 6. One time I had to play as like Wallace from Wallace and Gromit in this weird thing that our teacher made up. I don't know what she was doing, but when it came into like the actual just productions and stuff, I never heard of it. And then I was like, I wish I got involved with this. That would have been hilarious. But no. Cool. What have you been doing, Nat?
What have I been doing? This week I watched the movie Lady Bird from 2017, which stars Saoirse Ronan, Timothy Chalamet, Laurie Metcalf, and like loads of famous people, really. It's like a coming-of-age movie that follows a girl called Christine who calls herself Lady Bird because she doesn't like her name. As she's trying to like finish her last year of high school and prepare for college. It's not a lot happens. She has like a tedious relationship with her mom, but it is probably a good depiction of many like teenage girls and their mom's relationships as they go from like girlhood to puberty sort of thing. And the fact that you go from like best friends to enemies very quickly, back and forth sort of thing. But it's just like a slice of life kind of movie. I think probably, I'm probably not the like age group that it's aimed towards. I can imagine that girls that are younger would kind of relate to it. I mean, for me, I didn't really like the character of Lady Bird. I thought she was a spoilt brat, but she was pretty witty. Like the dialogue was good, so it was a bit of an interesting watch. Have you seen it, Danielle? I know you're saying like.
Oh, yeah, no, but I was going to say, I think also, like, older women, too, tend to like those kind of movies because of whatever, like, oftentimes, whatever complicated relationship we might have had.
They have, yeah.
Sometimes it's in the past, and sometimes the complication has continued into adulthood.
Yeah.
I remember liking it. It's a Greta Gerwig film, and I usually
is it?
Stuff. Yeah, she did the remake of Little Women.
Barbie, wasn't it?
Barbie, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not really my sort of film. I don't know why. I think it's because we watched Saoirse Ronan in The Host last week, and I was like, I'll give her another go in another movie.
Am I correct? It has like a young Timmy Chalamet in it, right?
Yeah, it does. He's like a terrible person in it, but it was quite funny to see him because usually he's like kind of like the hero role in these sorts of things, but yeah, he definitely wasn't. How about you, Danielle? What have you been up to?
This week I wanted to talk about a book that I finished recently called Yesteryear. It's by Caro Claire Burke, and it's a pretty buzzy novel right now. A lot of people that I know are reading it, and I think it got picked for one of these talk show book clubs.
Okay.
And then also it had like a bunch of buzz before it got published. So it was just published this year, but the rights for a movie version of it were bought in 2024. And Anne Hathaway's already connected to star in it. So I thought I would talk about
She's
it because
doing a lot recently,
you'll hear about.
She is. She's having a little resurgence.
Yeah.
She's like, I've hit my 40s. I've had my baby.
No, she's pregnant again.
I'm having a baby. I need the money in. We're going to have a lot of baby showers. I need to do as much work as I can to bring in this baby.
Well, I think the Devil Wears Prada sequel probably put her a lot more in the public eye again.
And then the Odyssey that's just come out, she's in that, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, is she? I haven't kept up with that.
She plays.
But let me talk about this book a bit.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, we got waylaid by Anne Hathaway. Sorry.
She's in the chat, guys.
So it's a book about a trad wife influencer who wakes up one day and she's suddenly in the 19th century. It alternates chapters between her life in the modern world and in this past world. Through most of the novel, unclear of what actually happened to her, like what the situation is. Is she crazy? Did she really have this like sci-fi sort of transported back in time event? But what's really clear is she is a terrible person and she's not really invested in the things that she's espousing as an influencer. She has just figured out that this is what will get them money and views. And so,
yeah, it's on trend, yeah.
But she's just like a deliciously terrible person, which I loved. There's a lot of people that love or hate this. I think there's some people that have a hard time sticking with a protagonist that's terrible. And so I think there's a certain number of people that are just like, this isn't for me because I hate this woman so much. But
they're always the best ones, to read. Yeah. Like, a protagonist that kind of irks you is much more interesting to read than a goody two-shoes.
Fully agree. And so this one, it was one of those that I got to the last, 100 pages, and I couldn't put it down. So... I recommend it. It's like a lot of people are talking about it. I thought it was interesting.
Sounds right up my alley. I love watching a little influencer about trad wives.
And
Making my own butter.
I thought you'd also be interested because of sort of the connection to the village where we had talked about if we could go, if we could live that life. And it's sort of like the what if this person who claims that this is the life she wants to live actually has to live that life. And it's a lot grimmer than
she imagined.
So with that, I think we're going to transition into this week's film, the 2008 faux documentary with found footage elements, Lake Mungo. So quick synopsis. This follows the Palmer family who are dealing with the death of their 16-year-old daughter, Alice. Alice drowned while they were on a family trip to a dam. The family is understandably broken by this unexpected death, and the most affected is Mother June, who begins wandering around at night and going into people's houses. After they see this photo of Alice potentially post-death in the back of somebody's photograph at the dam, the mother sort of becomes convinced that Alice isn't really dead. And so the son, Matthew, starts setting up cameras around the house to catch any haunting or unexplained phenomenon. And ultimately, through all of this investigation, they learn that Alice was tortured by a lot of secrets. But the question is, was she really haunting the family? So again, this film is from 2008. It has a rather unexpected conclusion. It's on a lot of lists for best found footage films. So if fake documentaries that are kind of slow burn and with creepy elements are up your alley, I'd recommend maybe pausing and going and watching it, because we're going to spoil the crap out of this, I'm sure. Have either of you heard or seen this before? Nat?
I had not watched it before. However, me and Jason did watch a video. I can't remember if it was like a proper TV show about like the best horrors or it was a YouTube video. So I did sort of know what the ending was. And we were
Was it that thing you guys watched on Shudder?
Yeah, I think it was. And it had I think it was like 1 or 2. It was like really high up in the rankings of like the best horrors to watch. And obviously it kind of spoiled what the ending was on that. And we, at the time we were like, oh, well, there's no point in us watching it now. We know the ending. But it's been so long since I watched that I was like, I don't actually remember what it said the ending was. So going into it was kind of completely fresh.
Nice. Dave?
No, I haven't really heard of this or like seen it before. There's definitely a thing when it started and you told us a bit about it, like a reason why you chose it. It really sort of piqued my interest because it's one of those investigative fictional, like with hints of like ghosts and stuff like that. And so like for me, it had that really like, okay, this is going to be a really interesting watch. So that's what I was sort of like piqued my interest when you first picked it.
Nice.
To check out.
I saw this when around the time it first came out. I think when it came out to DVD. And because in the US, it was part of this series, After Dark Horror Fest, 8 Films to Die For. They released 8 indie films like a couple years in a row to the theaters and really promoted them. So these films that normally wouldn't have gotten much publicity kind of got pushed in the US. Vaguely remembered that there was a big creepy moment at the end, but I didn't exactly remember it. And I didn't, like I said, I think I remembered there being a lot more found video elements to it.
What was it that you like about this film, do you think? Why did you pick it?
So my memory of it, again, after seeing it the first time, was really being scared by it. I would say in rewatching it, knowing what was coming, I was less scared. So I don't know if...
It's like a one-time only movie, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't want to devaluate my experience from originally watching it. So I think some of the dealing with grief elements I can personally relate to now. And so that I think kind of hit me harder in this viewing than the actual scares. As far as Skinamarink versus this, I think there's a apt comparison in that both of them have these videos that it's hard to tell what's going on, and you have to kind of lean in closer to see, and you're not quite sure if something is happening or something not, and you get to the point where every static shot you're trying to find something else in it, and so sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't.
But Skinamarink doesn't have a narrative, whereas this does have a narrative. Yeah,
very much so.
But my issue there, though, is that it took forever to get me engage with it. It was, I don't know if it was about the actors and how they were on screen, but everybody was just, and then this happened. And
Oh no, I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. For me. It needed a little bit punchier. It took too long, or I wasn't engaged enough with the storytelling to be fully invested in it. All the good stuff started happening in the last like 20 minutes kind of thing.
No, I think that the beginning had me engaged. Like the setup of she's gone missing, we need to find her. But then they found her too quickly.
Yeah.
So then the excitement of that then wore off for the middle half of the film. And then it kind of peaked again at the end.
Whereas with Skinamarink...
Skinamarink, I was never invested. I didn't know what to care about. I didn't know what was going on. I had a headache from the static. This film did not give me a headache trying to look at...
No.
Nokia cell phone videos. But I think part of but I will agree with you that I think some of the performances in this could have been a bit more engaging, and I think that's because these are, I don't know if they weren't actors or they're not well-known actors, but they weren't given a script. They were given a direction of what was happening and allowed to kind of ad-lib themselves. And,
but is it because they're trying to make it look like a fake documentary?
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it look like it's just like Joe Bloggs talking, which isn't going to be like polished.
Sure, but I do agree it dragged a bit.
I will say that the casting director was put through the paces in this film for the amount of characters that there were. Me and that lost track of this person and this, but there was so many characters.
There was a lot of characters introduced.
And I was like, okay, you're in it for a minute.
It was a very complex web.
Yeah, of all these people. Is Johnny from the stream? I was like, who are you again?
They did what a normal documentary would do. If anything, I think that they should have had some of those teenagers more in it, because it's a teenage girl, and whenever there's something amiss with, her death and her life, you would go to her friends first, and they kind of stick with the family who keep having sort of the same
response.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The casting director did a great job of getting that many people involved in the production.
And the kids of the era look very much of that era. I was like kind of cringing on some of the fashion and hair choices.
I do think that when it does start get into the plot and there's some twists here and there, I did sort of see myself going, oh, okay. But at that point though, it took too much time for me to get.
Was that when you discovered that the brother?
Yeah,
like obviously we're spoiling it here. Spoilers from here on in, guys. Right. So when we found out that the brother was setting up fake videos to try and be like, oh, she's alive, even though he knew she wasn't. I think that's when me and you started to be like, oh, that's like terrible. Like he's a terrible person for doing that.
They established very much that the mother is torn apart by this. I think they needed to show more of the son react.
Yeah,
the son doing that was definitely
out of the blue.
Well, but it was also a reaction to the fact that his mother couldn't put it to rest, that she wasn't convinced. At some point, she wasn't convinced that Alice was even dead because she didn't see the body. And so he ends up constructing this whole faux haunting to give her some closure. And I don't think they established that well.
No.
I feel like it was too... but I mean, at that point, I don't think I was...
I think it's because they didn't really establish how he felt about her dying. We saw that the mum and dad were like beside themselves, but it never really went to the brother and was like, how did you feel about it? And then we could be like, oh, well, because he was distraught by the whole thing, and like then he's done, like he's lashed out and done this stupid thing. But instead it's just like he's done a really like terrible thing and there's no remorse for it, and we can't like justify why he's done it.
But I don't think it was a terrible. I didn't see it as a terrible thing. I thought it was a thing that he did to give his parents some closure, and it
how's it
forced
closure?
them, because they were forced to re-exhume the body, and then the mother saw that she was actually in coffin, and that established that she was dead.
So it's probably a better way to probably find a good
Oh
therapist.
no,
or
of
something.
course, but like a
Not just
14-year-old,
to
it's like a 14-year-old kid who's interested in photography's way to do that.
turn it into that little filming thing.
Looking at this as a documentary or as like a play on a documentary, do you think it was effective in that way?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It shows all the tropes of document. You got interviews of
News
found
footage.
news footage. Yeah, it felt like it was real. So if you went in and if you told us, oh, this is actually a real thing, then yeah, it plays up to that. It definitely feels like a real documentary. So they've done all those tropes to make it believable. At least if I went to a bunch of teenagers and said this is a real thing, they would probably fall for it.
I think one of my
think so.
favorite subgenres of found footage is this sort of fake documentary. When the Blair Witch came out, which I think most people can agree is like the real starting of the found footage film as being a thing. There were like things before that, but I think Blair Witch is what really put it in everybody in the forefront.
Put it out on the wall.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know if you guys got this over there, but at the same time the Blair Witch was coming out, the Sci-Fi Channel aired a mock documentary called The Curse of the Blair Witch. And I remember watching that first, and knowing it was on Sci-Fi Channel, it was clear that it was a mockumentary, but it was done so well, and I would say in some regards was even more effective than the original Blair Witch film for getting scares. 'Cause it had some, like a few clips of it, but it had really went into the lore and history of the Blair Witch that they had devised. And,
Similar to that, you know that movie The Fourth Kind with Mila Jovovich?
Yes.
So I used to be, when that first came out, I was obsessed with that. I was like, oh my god, like they've got like real footage alongside like the Mila Jovovich bits. Like I was sure that it was like a real thing. I remember.
I remember the trailers for that thing where she was like, I'm actress Mila Jovovich, and
yeah, and it was done like a proper like documentary. It was really good.
Watch that again.
We have to put it into the podcast somewhere because I've got it on DVD. It's so good.
Some other examples of that are that Strange Harvest film that I watched recently was another sort of faux documentary. There's something called the Poughkeepsie tapes, which is like another serial kill. It's real icky, like it's kind of icky watching, like it's torture porn. And then there's another one called The Bay that I thought was really well done. I think that was directed by the guy who did Avalon that we watched.
Oh, okay. Everyone's favorite movie that we were like, oh, it's going to be boring, and then we loved it.
So I wanted to touch a bit on the more traditional found footage items in this film.
The bit at the end on the phone, like it might as well have been filmed on a potato because I could barely see anything in the footage. It was very grainy. It was very Skinamarink. It was like, obviously, the big twist comes. Yeah, of course you would. Like the big twist comes in that part where Alice sees her like own dead self or whatever. But I mean, I feel like a lot of that was lost on me because the visuals weren't there.
You see that she sees something creepy that looks vaguely like her. They really had to do some work in telling you. Like they flashed the photo of her being pulled out of the lake. They're like, this is what she saw, because I wouldn't say that the image that she sees in Lake Mungo on a trip with her friends on that awful footage looks like that corpse.
No, I wouldn't either.
They did it in post and we're like, oh, you know what? We need to really hammer this home. We're going to have to just this is the ending, guys. We're not going to do any more reveals. This is the big truth. She saw herself as a dead corpse. Freeze frame. Right, and let's repeat. Let's have 8 people explain this point. So it's really make sure that we know.
Well, I think that Alice saw herself. Yes, I also think Alice definitely saw her own dead body.
So, Dave, you were the only one then out of the three of us who went into it not having any concept of that was going to come. Did that shock you a bit? Did that take you aback? Did you have any reaction to it?
No, I was like, is it the now.
He didn't have a reaction.
I think there's too many twists and turns in the big ending.
After it comes out that Matthew has been faking these videos, then they start seeing real, quote unquote, real haunted images of Alice in the back of other videos and pictures and things and they kind of, because it's completely out of frame, like it's on the edge of the frame.
Oh yeah, I remember. I just sit there like, what are you talking about? I get it.
Yeah. I thought that was really effective.
You know what they're doing there? It's almost as if they're like, you have to go rewatch it again and buy another ticket to see it so you can try and spot her again. And I'll be like, no, I'm not.
Is that from the bit on the credits where it shows you where she was?
Yeah.
She's there all along.
But even before that, though, there was a bunch of where they kept blowing up to the image of her in the back of something.
The creepiest one was that boy that had snuck into the house.
Yeah, that was the creepiest one. When you see the man hiding.
Yeah, hiding in the photo. I hate it.
It wasn't a boy either. That was the creepy part of it. That leads to this sort of almost red herring of what's wrong with Alice. So there's a video that Matthew made, which was made to look like Alice coming out of her room. But I guess when you revisit the video, there's a man in the corner of the room, in Alice's room, looking for something. And it turns out it's this neighbor she used to babysit for. June opens up this hidden panel somewhere in the room that I guess they didn't think to look for to see if there was anything.
Yeah.
And they find a videotape that's like a sex video of Alice and this neighbor couple she used to babysit for.
Yeah, that was very weird.
Yeah, again, I was like, oh, this is just something shoehorned in. I'm like, why is this in? Okay, we're here now. It's more mysteries. And I don't know. At that point, I don't know. I reckon, right? I would have been really invested in like, shock horror if it wasn't so far away from what we've already watched already. Like if they crammed it down a bit. I don't know. I felt that was all too
My
late.
thing was that nobody was a reliable source of information.
Yeah,
We've got Matthew, who's making fake videos and trying to be like she's a ghost. Then you've got Ray, the psychic, who's like, he gets involved. And then we find out that he's actually been having secret meetings with Alice beforehand. So then he's lost all credibility. Mm-hmm. And it's just like every person that seems to be introduced and you're like, oh, they're going to try and help sort it out. They end up being like a waste of time.
Yeah. No,
I was waiting for a crocodile, to be fair. I was waiting for a crocodile.
You're waiting for a crocodile? Well, I was in the river or the lake when Alice came in. Yeah. Do you feel like her name being Palmer was a nod to Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks?
I mean, IMDb trivia would have me believe that. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
No, as soon as I saw like Palmer and it's like a girl like drowned in a lake or whatever, I was like, this is very Twin Peaks.
Well, I mean, it's hard to evaluate the writer-director of this. It's a man named Joel Anderson. This is the only feature film he's made, so it's kind of hard to know if he is also a David Lynch fan like me.
Maybe. It did quite well, though, this movie, right?
I mean, it's on a ton of lists, and again, according to IMDb trivia, so grain of salt there, apparently Jordan Peele has even, said that this is one of the scariest movies to him.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, I think this does what a lot of found footage does, is you have to really get invested in the reality of it sometimes for the scares to work. I remember seeing Blair Witch in the theater with my aunt, and my aunt was so annoyed. She was like, it's just a bunch of people and there's sounds and it wasn't scary at all. But I was like, no, if you think that these people are real and this is a real thing, then it's terrifying.
Yeah.
You got to believe into the illusion, didn't you? Yeah.
I never actually found the original Blair Witch that scary, but the sequel I felt was more scary.
I would say the same with the original Paranormal Activity was probably similar, that you had to really get invested in it because, if you're going for reality, that these are just videos that people are taking, and then you find the moments that are frightening in it. There are a lot of nothing going on moments in these films.
Yeah. That's what makes you lean in.
Yes.
Yeah, I think with Paranormal Activity, it's the fact that it's the build-up. It's day one, there's nothing. Day 3, there's a slight breeze in the house.
Yeah. And then, you're like, oh, did I hear a creak? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember and it's slowly going to build up and get worse. And then your mind starts playing that trick of what's gonna happen next? What am I going to see? What what kind of things are going to happen.
In that
You're
grainy
looking-
darkness of the doorway, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, is there something moving?
So if I flash back to Skinamarink, it's the same kind of sort of style.
It's not the same.
I do not like that scornful tone you're using.
Nameless Child 1 and 2. That we don't know anything
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Father
I'll
who
defend that
disappeared.
film. Toilet. Where's the toilet? Nobody knows. But we're
I would say
peering
this,
into the dark.
for me, the similarity between this and Skinamarink is that I didn't find either of them scary.
I mean, I think for me, the grounding force in this film was June. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I could kind of see, like, I understood her grief. And I really like the touch midway through. You get this talking head of her mother first talking about how she wasn't a natural mother and how being a mother was hard for her. And then it was similar for June. She never really connected with Alice. I mean, this is similar to your pick today with Ladybird.
Yeah,
You know,
Ladybird,
teen-
yeah. That mother-daughter relationship, yeah.
Teenage years are sometimes very difficult between mother-daughters. You know, I can't speak from personal experience about father-sons, father-mother, but mother-daughter relationships can be very, very fraught. There's never a point where she's an adult and they can see eye to eye and they can have like a good relationship. And I think June really is mourning that. Like you said, that final image on the video at Lake Mungo with the trip is often cited as one of these like super shocking moments. So
But having seen it, I just feel like it was a bit of a letdown. I expected, obviously, I went into this thinking, oh, I know that the last bit of this is meant to be like really impactful, and it just felt a little flat to me.
is it same for you, Dave? It just didn't.
Yeah, I thought like for the big ending, I tell you what, the ending I did like was when it cut back to, was it the daughter, Alice, having a therapy session with the man,
Yes, I
talking
agree.
about, I can see my mum. She's saying good, and then she's
yeah.
that was kind of clever.
I thought that was my favorite. I thought that ending was
Yeah.
really effective where he is. So we haven't talked about it, but Ray is this psychic and he has part of the found footage is these videos of him. I think it's dreams that he must be talking them through, or he's either
Yeah.
that or he's put them in some sort of hypnotic state. And they interchange at points in the movie the video of Alice being interviewed and walking through the house, and they intercut that with a just straight video of the house, like walking through the same rooms in the house. And then June as well. It's clear that they're kind of seeing each other in dreams at different parts of their lives. I thought that was really effective.
However,
It was.
Ray's a bit of a one-trick pony because he does that close your eyes business a few times. He's got no other like magic
He's not a magician.
ideas. Well, he's supposed to be the paranormal guy, but he's like, yeah, just close your eyes.
Yeah, that's obviously how he
What
works.
do you see?
Yeah.
It's like, you going to do anything else? You going to bring a cymbal in? Or you going to play like a sound from white
He
noise
doesn't
or
need the
something?
That kind
gizmos.
of
He's
psychic.
powering off on his
does.
own, yeah.
And that's why he gets slapped in the face and says, you've done it all wrong. By the family.
They find the video, they see Alice bearing something at Lake Mungo. And so the family all go out, family trip. And it's I find it highly unbelievable that like a year later or several months later, they're able to find this bag that they dig out of her stuff.
It's not been dug up or like washed away or whatever.
Yeah. Or based on these, again, like videos shot on a potato that they're able to find the exact spot. It'd been more believable to me if they had to spend the week at Lake Mungo and every day at night are just like digging holes.
Yeah.
So they find a bag that she's put like her beloved belongings, like a ring, a necklace, and her shitty cell phone. And then that's whenever they find this video where she has seen this image of herself dead, and that freaks her out and causes her to bury it. She acts a little weird for a while when she comes back. That's probably why she goes to see Ray and then ends up fulfilling the prophecy and dying.
Are we supposed to believe that she saw herself like drowned?
I think she saw her. Yeah, I think she saw.
Because would you not just be like, well, I'm never going near water again. Barbs are out. The lake is out.
She saw herself as a teenager dead. I'll wait until I'm like 37,
Yeah.
38, in my 40s maybe, and then I'll go back into the water. But at the moment, I'm going to stay out.
I wasn't clear in that video that she was drowned. Again, to me, it didn't look exactly like she looked distorted. She looked like a distorted self of herself.
As a whole, this film, it does have the makings of something really good. Mm-hmm. I feel like it has, like, it's got everything there really that is quite strong. Like this idea that there's a missing person, there's ghosts, there's like creepy, like next door neighbors that be doing this weird videotape. So like, I reckon if I watched this when I watched Gothica, I would be like way into this. I'd be like, this is almost real. I think because I've watched it later on, I don't know, maybe because I've seen too many found footage stuff. Yeah, it's like if I had that kind of like not film head again looking at all these things, I don't know, I would have probably appreciated it a bit more. If I've not seen, I tell you what, if I've not seen as many found footage style movies before and seen all those tropes, then I reckon I would have really enjoyed this movie a bit more than I did.
But yeah, fair point. This came out in 2008, and so it was very early, like prior to Paranormal Activity.
So I think I've watched this at the wrong time. If I watched it back then, I probably would have been in the same boat and be like, yeah, this film's amazing. It's got twists, turns. It's terrifying. There's a ghost there. Because like pictures of ghosts in like old photos are really, for me, used to terrify me a lot.
It reminds me of Haunted of Hill House, the series, where afterwards you were like, you kind of saw all the ghosts that were kind of hiding in the background.
Do you think Alice was still haunting the house at the end?
No.
It was just more pictures that he was putting in to just double bluff everybody.
I think once the mum had that, like, she saw Alice in the bedroom where Alice was kind of looking back at her. For me, I felt like that was them both being kind of at peace.
Dave?
There was ghost activity. Of course there was. There was like...
Oh, there was ghost activity, but I mean that she's not still haunting it.
The thing that convinced me that she might still be haunting was that last video of June going through the house after they've decided to move out, intercut with Alice's interview saying that she had this dream where she's in the room and she sees her mother, but her mother doesn't see her. And so her mother's gotten the closure and isn't seeing the image of her anymore. But Alice is still stuck in that house. So that was sort of where I left, which was also like a terrifying thought. Poor Alice.
So here's a question for you guys, just about ghosts. Do you have fears of ghosts? Do you think ghosts are about? Have you had a ghost?
I don't have fears of ghosts, but I do believe in ghosts.
What about you, Danielle? Have you any ghost experiences?
I haven't had any ghost experiences. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave?
I have a ghost in this flat. I'm determined to seek it out. Have I mentioned it before in this podcast?
No, you haven't. Not on the podcast, no.
I've had 3 encounters with this spooky ghost now. I'm trying to capture evidence of it because I sound like a mad person. So my first ghost experience, I build up to it. I'm on my phone, just texting away to my friend saying, all right, have a good day, blah, blah, blah. About to go to bed. And I hear this like really close to my ear. I hear like a whisper from the left side of my ear. So it's not coming from outside. It's not coming from upstairs. It feels like it's right next to my ear of something going like, oh, so it's whispered something weird like that. And I stopped silent and said, hello. And then straight after heard the same like whisper kind of noise. And I was like terrified. I get my phone. I don't want to turn the light on my torch because I was like, if some creepy monster's there, I'm going to get grabbed. So I ring, because I was texting my friend.
It's like he's not watched any horror movies at all. You should turn the light on straight away.
No, I was petrified now. I could not move. I was like, I just want to stand.
But you could move to get your phone to ring somebody.
Well, it was on the side next to me, so it was quickly like grab. Then I just rang my mate and she answered and I was like, there's a ghost right in my room right now. And she was like, what are you talking about? Can you just help me look around the flat to make sure there's no one in here or something like that? So
But also, your bedroom door is right near your front door, so it's probably just somebody in the corridor outside talking.
It was
because they're probably like, it's late at night, we're going to whisper in the corridor so we don't wake anyone up.
No, as in like it felt like it was in the room. In that corridor, it's echoey as anything.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds odd.
No, it was like me sitting next to you. I'm not lying. That's the thing.
I don't think you are lying. I think you believe what you heard.
I do generally believe something happened on that night, and some other things have happened at the same time. So I do think there's something.
So with that, let's wrap up our discussion of Lake Mungo, as we always do, with our favorite and least favorite characters. Dave, do you want to start us off?
My favorite character was, just because of his name, was Jason Whittle. Because when we was watching it, we were like, because Jason was in the room. Was he watching it with us?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, Whittle Jason. That's the only reason, not because of his character, just because of the name. Worst character has to be probably Alice, because it's all her fault at the end of the day. She didn't tell anyone.
I mean, what are you going to tell?
Here's my phone. It's got a creepy thing of me looking creepy and dead.
And also, I probably shouldn't have been with my babysitting parents.
Actually, they're probably the worst characters. Yeah, because they're
I thought she was
grooming a child.
Yeah. Nat, do you have a favorite and least favorite?
Yeah, mine was Jason Whittle, but not for baby Jason. Mine was just the fact that he was her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just felt really bad for him because one, she's sleeping with these married couple. She's now dead. I just felt he just got very left in the lurch about everything.
Also, his interviews was in the mountains. He was on this mountain range behind him. He had all
he's had to go and find himself in the mountains.
Yeah.
I thought that she was I thought it was not consensual, the relationship with the baby who she babysat for, because I thought you could hear her crying during it.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I thought she was just kind of sitting there waiting when the thing got turned on at the beginning.
No, because then they immediately disappeared too, the family. So it was not good news. Yeah,
that was unclear to us then, and we didn't think that it wasn't consensual. But I put Matthew as my worst character anyway, because I just felt like he escalated the situation. There could have been another way to get the body exhumed to prove to the mum without you making up that she's a ghostie haunting the halls of your house. How about you, Danielle?
My favorite was June, and I thought, because for me it really grounded the story, the believable mother-daughter relationship, as well as her grief. And my least favorite was Jason Whittle, because he was the boyfriend and he's barely in it.
Yeah, exactly. I felt bad for him.
He was just uninvolved. She's dead. Don't care. I'm going to go on a trip to this graffiti rock. So let's wrap this up with our ratings. We always rate in limes and lemons. Limes for Nat and Dave, and lemons for me. So, Nat, do you want to start us off with your rating?
I have given it, I'm torn between a 1.5 and a 2. I'm going to go 1.5. It isn't a movie I would watch again. I really wanted to be scared. When I go into these films, I really want to be scared because it's hard to find movies that scare you anymore. So I really wanted it to have that impact, but it just fell really flat for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 1. Again, solve the mystery if she's dead or not dead too soon. I reckon, because if you saw those pictures of her maybe there, it would was it a ghost? Is she actually alive? Where is she? It could have added an extra sort of layer to it before just going straight to she's dead, it's a ghost. It took far too long. Where did those bruises come from with the sun? I don't. Like I said before, if I saw this earlier when it first came out, I probably would have been a bit more it's high up 4, 5, because I don't know. I can appreciate it, but it wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it a 3.25. So for me, I had the experience of seeing it when it came out, and it was very scary to me. In watching it now, it kind of went I wouldn't put it as high as a 3.5, but it's still like I was able to get invested enough in it and also appreciate how much it scared me the original time I saw it. So with that, I want to thank everybody for listening today and thank my friends for watching the film.
You're
Taking a chance on
welcome.
watching it.
You're very much welcome.
And we'll be continuing this series next week with yet another found footage film, this time hosted by Natalie.
What have we found this time?
Yeah.
You'll have to tune in to find out. So, but with that, that's bye for me.
See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.